Felipe shocked to discover ambiguous relationship between Letizia and Iñaki. Madrid, the Spanish royal court was shaken this week when a surprising news spread. King Felipe VI discovered the secret relationship between Queen Letizia and Iñaki Urdangarin, a former member of the royal family, which has caused a lot of controversy in the past. According to a close source, Felipe was completely unprepared for this. He thought he knew everything in the palace, but this discovery came as a shock, the source revealed. The incident is said to have started when Felipe accidentally read a series of intimate messages and photos of Letizia and Iñaki together at a private event a few months ago. Although there is no concrete evidence that this relationship has gone beyond friendship, the unusual closeness between the Queen and Iñaki has raised many questions. Iñaki, who is the ex-husband of Felipe's sister Infanta Cristina, has been embroiled in a high-profile financial scandal, and this new connection only adds to the drama. If it is just a friendship, it is an extremely sensitive friendship, said one royal commentator. Given the history between Iñaki and the royal family, this closeness would certainly hurt Felipe. While the palace has declined to comment officially, insiders say Felipe had a tense conversation with Letizia shortly after learning of the news. He is very disappointed and wants a clear answer, the source stressed. The story is attracting a lot of attention from the Spanish public, as rumors of Felipe and Letizia's marriage have been circulating for some time. Is this just a misunderstanding, or a sign of a deeper rift within the royal family? Time will tell. Behind the scenes, whispers in the palace. Soon after the news leaked, the atmosphere in the Zarzuela Palace became heavier than ever. Servants and close staff were said to avoid mentioning Iñaki's name in front of the king, while Letizia remained calm in public, attending diplomatic events as if nothing had happened. A longtime palace employee recalled that, on the evening Felipe confronted Letizia, the sound of arguing could be heard from the king's study. It was not the tone of a normal conversation. He kept asking why. She insisted that everything had been misunderstood. What made Felipe even more confused was that Iñaki had recently appeared at several sporting and charity events that Letizia had attended, but was not on the official schedule. The question is, why did they meet outside the official framework, said a journalist who specializes in following the royal family. A wave of reactions from the royal family. Infanta Cristina, Iñaki's ex-wife and Felipe's sister, was said to be extremely angry when she heard the news. A source close to Cristina revealed, she considered it a double betrayal, from Iñaki and from her own sister-in-law. Former King Juan Carlos, who is currently living in exile in the UAE, is also said to have called Felipe to find out the truth. He advised Felipe to stay calm but to find a clear answer, because otherwise the story would be distorted by the press and become out of control, the source said. The press exploded, the people were in an uproar. The Spanish media immediately split into two camps. One side said this was just an exaggerated rumor, the other side affirmed that there were many unusual signs that needed to be clarified. Thousands of comments are pouring in on social media every hour, with hashtags like #Letizia Inaki and #RoyalScandal trending. A number of blurry photos have been circulating, showing Letizia and Iñaki sitting next to each other in a Barcelona cafe. Although the quality of the photos is unclear, many people believe that their body language shows more than just social intimacy. The future of the monarchy? Many experts say that, whatever the truth, this ambiguous relationship has put Felipe and Letizia's marriage in a major test. As the Spanish royal family struggles to rebuild its image after a series of scandals, any news of a rift within the family could shake public confidence. A source close to the family concluded, "This is not just a personal affair, it is a problem for the whole dynasty. If Felipe does not handle it properly, the consequences could last for years." The key evidence, the forgotten letter. A week after the rumors began to spread, a new detail suddenly emerged, bringing things to a head. According to information leaked by a palace guard, while cleaning the queen's private sitting room, they found a small cream-colored envelope, tucked between the pages of a book on the table. Inside was a handwritten letter, undated, but signed by Iñaki Erdangaran. In the letter, Iñaki wrote, "I never thought that our conversations would become a refuge for both of us. Amidst the watchful eyes, you are still the only one who makes me feel at peace." Although this content did not directly confirm the relationship, it was enough to fuel the already simmering suspicions. The letter was quickly delivered to Felipe. A palace source revealed that, after reading it, the king remained silent for a long time, then put the letter in a locked drawer, an act of restraint that also showed that he did not want to let the public know too soon. The press smelled blood. Just a few days later, news of the secret letter leaked. A famous Madrid tabloid published a blurry photo of the letter, with the bright red headline, "Iñaki's words to Letizia, friendship or something more?" The news immediately caused a storm. TV channels ran special programs, dissecting every word in the letter. Some psychologists were even invited to analyze the emotional implications in each word. The secret meeting at night. Amid the rumors, another piece of information made the matter even more serious. Iñaki was said to have secretly traveled to Madrid at night to meet Letizia. The meeting took place in a private apartment not far from the palace. A witness living in the building said, "I saw a tall man wearing a baseball cap enter around 10 p.m. He left near dawn. Then I saw a black car parked in front of the door, very similar to a royal car." Risk of a royal crisis. The rapid developments have put Felipe under enormous pressure. Advisors are concerned that if a clear announcement is not made, the prestige of the monarchy will be seriously damaged. Some cabinet members have even advised the king to consider temporarily separating from the queen, to reduce pressure from public opinion. A political analyst commented, "If things continue as they are now, it is possible that the Spanish royal family will face the most serious crisis since the time of Juan Carlos." The fateful night, the king's decision. On the 15th of this month, the Zarzuela palace was filled with tension. Felipe spent the evening in his study, with only a few close advisors allowed in. On the table, next to Iñaki's letter, was a thick file containing articles, photos and internal investigation reports about Letizia and Iñaki's encounters. According to a source, Felipe said one short sentence to his chief advisor. "If this is true, I have lost more than just a wife." At around 11 p.m., Felipe asked to see Letizia. The conversation was private, but according to a nearby waiter, Felipe's voice was low and firm, while Letizia was crying and denying that she had an affair. She said that her relationship with Iñaki was just a sharing of confidences, because they both knew what the pressure from the royal family was like. Felipe listened in silence, but eventually placed an envelope in front of his wife. Inside was a copy of Iñaki's letter and photos from the Madrid apartment. "I can't ignore this," he said. The next morning, the shocking announcement. Just a few hours later, the royal household issued a brief but shocking statement. The king and queen will temporarily live separately to review their marital relationship and focus on their official duties. No further comment. The announcement immediately caused an uproar in the press and the public. Some sympathized with Felipe, seeing him as the victim of spiritual betrayal. Others argued that this was all media hype and that Letizia was being unfairly treated. Iñaki, the silent one in the storm. The strange thing was that from beginning to end, Iñaki remained completely silent. Not a single statement, not a single explanation. Some journalists believe he is biding his time, or may have been told to keep quiet to avoid making things worse. The future is uncertain. For now, no one knows how long Felipe and Letizia's private life will last, or whether they will ever be able to mend it. But one thing is certain. The incident has left a lasting scar in the modern history of the Spanish royal family. One longtime observer concluded, whether Letizia is guilty or not, the mere fact of her ambiguous relationship with Iñaki has changed the way people view the throne. The monarchy will never be the same again.